Today I'm going to demonstrate the most basic principles of the three-point lighting setup. Remember that there will be a quiz over the material in this video, so learn everything you can and write down any questions you have. I will answer your written questions at the beginning of class before we take the quiz. This diagram shows a bird's eye view of the three-point setup. Three-point lighting uses principles that go back to Renaissance painting and is used by cinematographers with professional lighting gear like this ARRI lighting kit, whose image I took from the ARRI website. This kit is similar to our portable kit at Fossil Ridge and costs over $2,000. But it's important to know that these lighting principles work very well with less expensive lights too. For today's demonstration, I am using 3 of these portable work lights I purchased from Home Depot for only $15 each. Over the course of this and the next 3 lighting lessons, I will show you how to build your own functional lighting kit for under $75. The first principle of lighting is illumination. Viewers cannot understand actions they do not see. Unfortunately, this is what most student lighting looks like. Students simply turn on the lights in a room, usually dim fluorescent lighting, especially in school, and think it is enough. But there is nothing particularly interesting about this image or the actor. Just kidding, this actor is actually my older brother. We know that this light is insufficient, but how do we make it better? We start by increasing the overall light and giving it a clear source of direction instead of the diffuse ambient light that fluorescents create. Think of this light as the sun. Like the sun, this light should come from above, usually around 45 degrees. But in a space with low ceilings, you'll just have to do the best you can. The light should also come from about 30 or 45 degrees from the line between the actor and the camera. This is important to remember. The position of the camera and the actor creates a line that determines a lot of key information. Usually you can see most of one side of the actor's face and a triangle of light that appears below the actor's darker eye. This same triangle of light appears in many portraits, particularly paintings by Rembrandt. I downloaded this image from DeviantArt.com. The amount of light or shadow that's visible on the actor's face in your images depends on the positioning of the light. Since this first light is the most important for illumination, we call it the key light. If you only have one light, then use it as your key light. Many news crews will conduct interviews on location with only a key light. If you only use one light, then you will probably want to soften it, but we will get into the qualities of light in a later lesson. For now, just focus on the position and the brightness of the lights. If you have 2 lights, you will want to place the second on the opposite side of the actor's face, also at an angle of about 30 to 45 degrees. But this light should not be as bright as the key light. We want it to fill in the dark shadows with light, so the second light is called the fill light. For this image, I put a 250 watt bulb in my key light and a 100 watt bulb in the fill light. The brightness ratio is often 4:1 or greater between the 2 lights, so I would usually want a slightly brighter key light or dimmer fill light. If I don't have the option of brighter or dimmer lights, I can move the key light closer and the fill light further away, as I have done here. Now this image is a decent one. The actor's face is brighter and has more defined shape than under the fluorescent lights, but the shadows are less dramatic than they were with the key light alone. The last task is to separate the actor from the background. So our last step is to add a light which outlines the actor and emphasizes the distance between him and the concrete wall behind him. We use another light that is dimmer than the key light, in this case another 100 watt. Because this light primarily illuminates the actor's back, it is called the backlight. When the backlight is brighter than the key or fill lights, or if it's the only light, then the actor's face is diminished. You may see this in horrific or suspenseful scenes when you want to hide a character's identity or build a sense of ominousness. But the standard three-point light design uses a dimmer key light. Now we have an interesting, balanced, 3-dimensional image. For quick review, our brightest front light is called the key light, our dimmer front light, the fill light, and the dimmer rear light is called the backlight. The key light illuminates, the fill light diminishes shadows, and the backlight separates the actor from the background. If you have one light, use it as a key. If you have two lights, use them as a key and fill. And if you have three lights, use the brightest as a key and the other two as a fill and a backlight. Those are the basics of how to position your 3-point lights and arrange them by brightness. Next, we will discuss how to shape, soften, and color your lights for effect. Make sure you bring your written questions to class. There will be a quiz over the items in this video. See you in class.